Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, her daughter's behavior.
She was wearing blackface and singing a racist chant.
My phone is popping with death threats.
Is out of control.
Ripping the heads off quails and laughing. And he steals my car while they're high and drinking.
She takes inappropriate pictures.
But what about Mom?
You text your daughter, why don't you just kill yourself?
You scare me.
Well, you're scaring me. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Alma wrote to me about her wild child, 16-year-old daughter Emmy, who throws house parties, takes joyrides in her car, steals drinks, smokes marijuana, and has been kicked out of 2 schools in the last 2 years. But Alma says the worst offense was this past June when her school kicked Emmy out for posting a video of herself wearing blackface and singing a racist chant. Now, the video went viral, and Emmy had to leave the country after receiving death threats. But did that stop her? No. Days later, she posted another video showing how exciting it was to kill birds. Now, Alma says she has turned to me as her last hope. Here's what Alma has to say about her out-of-control 16-year-old. Take a look.
My 16-year-old daughter, Emmy's been a terror to my family for the past 2.5 years. Emmy smokes a lot of marijuana and drinks alcohol all the time. She has stolen money from me, taken numerous inappropriate pictures and videos of herself, topless, and posted them on social media. Last year, Emmy posted a video that went viral. She was wearing blackface and singing a rap song. Her friend was taking a video of her singing and dancing to it. She's laughing, smiling, and dancing in the video. She was using a negative word for black people. She was saying, pull the trigger. Emmy received over 200,000 death threats from people around the world.
Pull the trigger.
Emmy doesn't show remorse. She thinks it was not a big deal. When I saw that video of Emmy, I couldn't breathe, and I really wanted to kill her. After the blackface video, she posted a video of her killing quails, ripping the heads off of them, and laughing. And she even had the caption, psychotic, underneath. I can't wrap my brain around why Emmy would do something like that and think it's fun. Emmy bullies me, and she's gotten physical with me on multiple occasions. Emmy will yell and scream until she gets her way.
My mom just pisses me off a lot. No, I'm not happy.
She'll push me, she'll hit me. I've had numerous bruises. She's always smiling when she's hitting me. I find that really disturbing. Emmy has punched holes in the door and the wall at my house. I don't know what to do with my daughter. I've pressed charges, I've called the police, I've seen therapists, and nothing is working. Right now, Emmy and I cannot live together. So she is living with my mother. I am at my wit's end, and that's why I'm here.
Okay, Alma, you're concerned.
I'm extremely concerned.
And you're concerned this is going where from here?
I'm afraid she's going to really hurt herself. Someone's going to hurt her. She's going to end up dead.
Okay, and you recently kicked her out of the house.
Yes.
Tell me why.
My boyfriend and I, we both asked her to leave because she threw another party while we were away on vacation in Mexico on New Year's. And she was told not to have anybody over. And pretty much the second day we left, she had a party.
I have to ask you, if she has been showing such erratic, self-destructive, unpredictable, irresponsible behavior, why are you leaving town and leaving her unsupervised?
I shouldn't have. I should have stayed home. A lot of people were telling me, it's okay, we'll watch her, we'll take care of her.
Yeah, but she's your daughter.
I know, and I had a bad feeling when I left, and it was, I was wrong.
Yeah. We left twice.
I did. I left twice. The first time that was the first party, and the second one is where I shouldn't have left.
I made a list of some of the thoughts on your parenting of Emmy. You avoid her.
Yes.
I mean, that's one of your parenting strategies is to avoid her. You're scared. You stay in your room. Your theory is nothing works. So basically, you've said, I've done what can be done, and this just doesn't work. You feel guilty. You won't punish her.
No, and if I do, I give it right back to her within a day or two.
Yeah, so you stick with nothing. You follow through with zero.
Yep.
You spoil her.
Yep.
So you're parenting out of guilt, essentially.
Yes.
You could control her when she's young, but now you think she has a mental illness, so there's no point. And this just ruined life, ruined relationships for you, for her, all around. So basically, you've checked out. There's not any parenting going on.
No, there isn't. And I'm afraid that if I follow through with anything, I'm afraid she's either going to hurt herself or kill herself. Or end up dead from some kind of drug overdose or...
Okay. So you're parenting from guilt and fear. What are you guilty about?
I feel guilty because I've been a bad parent. Because I haven't followed through. And I feel like I'm in this vicious cycle and I don't know how to stop it.
Okay. So you know you've done poorly in the past.
Yes.
And so you think the answer to that is to do poorly now.
Yeah, I know it's not the answer, but I don't know how to stop it.
We can agree that what you're doing is not working.
Agree.
And what you're doing is not much, but whatever you're doing is not working.
Right.
Because she's showing some erratic behavior that you think is, that maybe she's even getting out of control of some of her behavior.
Yeah.
Now, she's attacked you some.
Yes, she has.
These are some of the bruises that she's left on you when she flies into a rage.
Yes.
What triggers the rage?
When I take her phone away.
Okay. So if you attempt to discipline her, shrink her world down, control her in some way, then you say she loses it.
Yep.
Okay, and you say that she's kicked out of school twice.
Yes.
She was kicked out last week.
Yes.
What for?
For not following the rules. She's disrespectful and she doesn't follow any rules. And she doesn't care who she's talking to, whether it's an adult, another student.
How'd she feel about coming here?
She thought she was going to be famous, so that's how she got here.
Okay, so this is going to make her famous.
That's what she thought, yeah.
Does she understand the difference between fame and infamy?
I don't think she does. I really don't. I don't think
so.
She
it doesn't make any
understands
difference to her to be distinguished in the negative.
Yep. As long as she gets the attention.
Do you think that's why she takes inappropriate pictures and videos and puts them up, just to get attention?
Yep, as long as she's getting attention.
You and I know there are a lot of...
I haven't even seen...
Well, there are a lot of people out there that are predators and can really take advantage.
Yeah.
And
I've talked to her about that, and she just doesn't listen.
By the way, research tells us that 75% of young people on the internet are willing to give up personal information, including addresses, in exchange for promises of gifts or services. So if somebody says, hey, we'll give you a free game or a free this or that, just give us your address where you are.
Yep.
So predators can get their information and find out where she lives, where she's going to school, even where she is at the given moment.
Yeah.
It's very, very scary. When we come back, we're going to meet Alma's 16-year-old daughter who's been drinking, smoking marijuana, throwing house parties, and stealing the family cars to go on joyrides. Now, she says she can do whatever she wants. My question is, what does she want? What's the end game here? What's all this leading towards? We'll talk to her when we come back.
I do enjoy smoking weed and drinking whiskey, vodka, tequila, really anything. I smoke weed every day. Like, I could stop. Why would I? There's no point. When my mom found condoms in my room, I didn't really care. What's the big deal? I'm gonna do what I want to do, like, even if my mom says I can't.
And later...
You don't think that you're scary, but you scare me. You're a bully.
Well, you're scaring me. Am I missing something here?
I'm afraid of her.
This This is the picture that has caused quite a commotion around Marshalltown. In it, 5 girls dressed in blackface for Halloween. The girls say the costume wasn't supposed to cause any harm and was just intended to be a fun idea. Later, they apologized and said they recognized how bad the picture looked, but they say they didn't know what blackface was.
There are 3 Snapchat photos getting the attention of parents, students, and school administrators. The caption reads, "Happy MLK weekend." One girl is wearing a white mask, while another girl, a Caucasian, wears a brown mask. The other photos show a Confederate flag with derogatory statements about blacks.
Well, this blackface trend on social media has made headlines recently and has had serious consequences for those involved. Now, Alma's daughter, Emmy, knows something about that after she posted a video that went viral. And she had to leave school and the country because we're talking about death threats, and I don't mean just a few. But she still says it's just a joke. This was a big overreaction. Take a look.
I'm a troublemaker. Me and my mom have not been getting along. I'm kind of sick of her. She's really naggy and really emotional, and it's so annoying. She'll tell me to be home at 10:30 or something. I'll be home at 1 or something. So I'll still come home, but not on time. I've stolen a lot of the liquor from her boyfriend's house. I do enjoy smoking weed and drinking whiskey, vodka, tequila, really anything. I smoke weed every day. I could stop. Why would I? There's no point. I am sexually active. When my mom found condoms in my room, I didn't really care. What's the big deal? I have given my mother bruises and drawn blood. I'm definitely more aggressive in the fights. I'd be like, excuse me? Do you want to say that again? When I made the video that went viral, I had a blackface mask on, and I was saying word. My friend posted the video. I was getting death threats all the time. People were showing up at my school, looking for me. My address was posted online. Everybody was out to get me. My mom has blown the situation and my behavior out of proportion 100%. I'm gonna do what I want to do, even if my mom says I can't. My mom just needs to back off.
Well, Emmy, it's good to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
You had a party on New Year's while your mother was in Cabo, right?
Yes.
A year ago.
No, this one is pretty recent. I've had 2 parties.
Okay. So this was New Year's of 18?
Yes.
Okay. And how many people were there?
15, 20 people.
At the house?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't really that big.
Yeah. And were you supposed to have the party?
I did get permission for it, but...
From who?
Her boyfriend's daughter, who was watching me at the time.
How old's the boyfriend's daughter?
She's 19.
19?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you cleared it with another teenager?
Basically. She
Well,
was
just so you
watching
had
me
it
at the
cleared.
time.
We've got some pictures of the party afterwards. I mean, it looks like there were holes in the walls.
Well, I
and
did that.
Things torn up. Why was the place trashed?
Well, the first pictures from the first party I had, and that's because my friend broke her foot while we were cleaning up, so I didn't have time to clean up everything, so I just put everything in my room and waited. Because I was going to wait till that night to wash all the dishes and put them away.
The water was off, so I don't know how you were going to wash anything.
Well,
because
when
we
you were
shut the
home.
water off.
Exactly, that's why.
Why was the water off?
Because when we left for the week, no one was supposed to be in the house at all.
So you had a party in the house with no water?
Yeah, basically.
They all lived there. They all stayed there. All
Yeah,
of her
for
and
the
her
whole
friends.
week.
It was disgusting.
For the whole week. What would you use for a toilet?
They used the toilet.
Yeah.
Your mother says you're out of control.
I'm not, really. She's over-exaggerating that 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break. Coming up, Alma's sister Anna says Alma should never have had children, and her daughter Emmy is screaming for attention from her mother. Well, this is her sister. We're going to talk to her about that next.
Alma isn't the best mother. She shouldn't have had children. Anytime Alma gets into any relationships with men, she tends to ignore her children and focus on her boyfriend at the time. After Alma found out that Emmy had had a house party, Alma sent a text message to Emmy saying, "You might as well kill yourself because I'm going to do the same thing." Who says that to their daughter?
And later, you said, oh, and by the way, I'm drinking 2 or 3 bottles of wine a day.
And it doesn't stop.
Here come the waterworks.
I am afraid for both of your lives.
Over the past year, Emmy has thrown 2 huge house parties.
They trashed the house.
There were dirty dishes in every closet, in the bathtub. There were burns in the carpets, stains on the wall. I was really upset that Emmy would disrespect me and the house like that. I was extremely pissed. I couldn't breathe. Emmy is totally out of control.
Well, Alma says Emmy always seems to get into trouble when Alma goes away with her boyfriend. Now, I mentioned earlier, if Alma knows this, why would she keep going away? Fortunately, Alma's sister, Anna, was around to break up Emmy's latest party. Take a look.
My 16-year-old niece, Emmy, is screaming for attention from her mother. What angers me about the situation is watching her destroying her life. It's killing me. Alma doesn't take responsibility for her actions in Emmy's behavior. Alma isn't the best mother. She has not provided the structure and discipline to raise a child. Alma, in my opinion, shouldn't have had children or become a mother. She'll, for instance, take Emmy's phone away. But then 10 minutes later, as soon as Emmy starts screaming and hollering for it back, it's back in her hands. There's never a follow-up. There's no consequences for Emmy's actions. After Alma found out that Emmy had had a house party, Alma sent a text message to Emmy saying, "You might as well kill yourself because I'm going to do the same thing." Who says that to their daughter? To me, that is completely unacceptable behavior. Anytime Alma gets into any relationships with men, she tends to ignore her children and focus on her boyfriend at the time. Alma and I are very different. She does view me as the perfect daughter, the perfect sister. I believe Alma views herself as lesser. Alma needs self-esteem so that she can be the mom that she's supposed to be.
Anna, thank you for being here.
Yes.
You've been listening to everything so far, right?
I have, yes.
She sent a text to her daughter that says, "You might as well kill yourself, I'm going to."
She did.
You saw it.
Yes.
You got it.
Yep.
You sent it.
Yeah.
What the hell are you thinking?
I wasn't. I was very, very angry. I'm the one that deleted it.
Probably drunk.
Well, am I missing something here? What?
I don't know. I'm beside myself. It's a vicious cycle for me. I'm afraid of her. I'm afraid for her. You don't think that you're scary, but you scare me. You're a bully.
Well, you're scaring me. I made a list of the questionable behaviors of yours that she's listed for us. Because you said, I'm not that out of control. Well, she says you're throwing house parties, you damage property, she says you drink, you steal alcohol, you smoke marijuana, that you cut yourself. She said you take joyrides in her car, that you're violent, punch the walls, you hit her, we've seen her bruises, you call her a stupid bitch. You've been kicked out of 2 schools, you've been kicked out of the house, you've been kicked out of dance, which you were apparently quite good at. That you're sexually active, you've posted racist video, you posted a video killing birds, and it wasn't that so much because that's part of hunting where I get that.
I really think my mom over-exaggerates a lot of everything that I've done and makes me look way worse. I've watched Dr. Phil episodes and I am nothing like the girls on the show. I am not that bad.
I don't think you're a bad girl. I think you're making some bad choices and have some bad behaviors, and that's a big distinction to me. I do think there's a difference there, but tell me about this blackface thing. You're smart enough to know that that's offensive to the sensibilities of a lot of folks.
Yeah. That was just a really bad time. I had a black face mask on. It was a joke and my friend was filming it and then I went to go take a shower And like I look at my phone and there's just like my phone is popping like with death threats and like people just like my friends even telling me to kill myself and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, like people didn't take that as a joke.
You did it out of ignorance, and I think that's not an insult. Ignorance means a lack of information. I asked a really good friend of mine to be here. We're joined now by award-winning civil rights attorney Areva Martin to weigh in on the history of blackface and the impact of posting material like this online. Why is this offensive?
Yeah, back in the 1800s, white performers would dress in blackface. They would use shoe polish or grease paint and paint their faces black and act out racial stereotypes of African Americans. And they perpetuated this notion that whites were superior to blacks. So when you dress in blackface, you are supporting that racial stereotype. You are perpetuating that demoralizing, dehumanizing stereotype. So when African Americans look at these videotapes, they're reminded of that painful period in our history when African Americans were thought to be less than human. So you have a wonderful opportunity to educate. If you want to dress in a costume, try Wonder Woman. Try Wonder Woman.
Areva is also the author of a new book, Make It Rain, How to Use the Media to Revolutionize Your Business and Brand. And we're going to talk about the book later on. Coming up, Alma says she's just a social drinker who has a bottle or two of wine a day. We'll talk about that after the break.
Emmy has been using marijuana on a daily basis. Emmy has a bong in her room. I haven't taken her bong away from her because I'm scared that she's going to want to fight me. I think that's horrible parenting, but I don't know how to change it because I'm afraid of my daughter. Emmy and her friend have taken my car for joyrides while they're high and drinking. Emmy steals the keys and takes the car. Emmy does not have a license, and neither does her friend. I've tried to explain to Emmy, you could kill like someone else, you could hurt yourself. Emmy never worries about the consequences. She thinks nothing will happen to her.
Well, Anna, Emma's sister, says the real problem with Emmy is that Mom here is a functional alcoholic, and Emmy's rebellious ways are just her screaming for attention. Let's take a look at what Anna has to say.
Alma would rather be with her glass of wine than her daughter.
My mom drinks about 2-3 bottles of wine a night.
I used to be a social drinker, now I drink every day.
My mom is 100% a hypocrite for saying stuff about my drinking.
Sometimes I black out from being drunk, I don't remember. Right now I don't consider myself an alcoholic, I just drink to numb myself.
She's a functioning alcoholic.
I don't think she does things with a clear mind. How can you raise a child when you're not clear in your own mind?
I think that I could stop if I was happy.
That's a joke.
You just gave a really good definition of alcoholism. I drink to numb myself. I'm self-medicating for stress.
I do.
And by the way, I black out.
I'm an alcoholic.
You think?
I am.
I mean, you are, and you said, oh, and by the way, I'm drinking 2 or 3 bottles of wine a day.
I do. I come home from work and I pour myself a glass, and it doesn't stop till I go to bed.
Here come the waterworks.
That begins to make me understand why you're not paying attention to what's going on.
But I didn't always drink like that.
I am afraid for both of your lives. I'm afraid that something's going to, you two are toxic together.
I'm very afraid. There is definitely something wrong here.
Well,
I know.
yeah, there's some questionable parenting going on. Now, according to Anna and Emmy, you're an alcoholic and always crying.
Yeah.
No real job, no structure, no discipline.
No.
You've been fed McDonald's for 10 years, allowing marijuana, hanging with the bad crowd, calls the police 25 times, trying to use them to parent your child, chooses men over children, abandon your son, moves in with boyfriend after 2 months of dating, leaves town with boyfriend, Emmy alone with friends, allows the boyfriend to kick out your daughter, and you stay. and you send her a text, say, why don't you just kill yourself?
It's not okay with me. It's just, I can't live with her either.
There's never been real structure in the house. Emmy's never had consequences to any of her actions, even when she was young.
There's a text that you sent to Alma that I found really interesting, because I had the same question that you text to her about on June 5th of last year. Anna, you said, I am trying to understand why you have resorted to putting Emmy into the system. Can you help me understand? Do you feel like you've done everything in your power to help her? What are you going to the doctor for? Now, she had done what that triggered this text?
She had sent a text message to myself and her son saying that she was going to, just an FYI, I'm putting Emmy into the system.
And by system, you mean?
I mean, like, to put her in foster care or something.
Right.
And I was mortified, because you have people here, and to throw her into the system means, like, just again, it reiterates that.
But I've been asking for help.
No,
yes, I have.
You didn't ask.
Yes, I have.
No, you have.
I have been, and the only one that steps up is Mom.
So your theory was the best thing to do is put her into a group home?
Yes, where she can get some therapy, get some counseling, something.
Here comes the emotional part that I was talking about.
Oh, sorry, I get emotional.
Well, coming up, Anna says she knows deep down her sister wants to change, but she's just not sure that she can. Is it possible? I mean, where does this go? Because there's no leadership, there's no guidance, there's no trajectory here that leads anywhere but trouble that I can see. So what do we do next? We're going to talk about that after the break.
One of the worst physical confrontations we've had happened about 6 months ago. We were driving in the truck. I had taken her phone away. She wanted to text her friends, and I said no. And she just grabbed it while I was driving. She hit me first, and then I pushed her back, and then that's when she bit me, and she broke the skin. She's never done anything that harmful to me. I was crying, I was yelling. That situation really proved to me how out of control she has become.
Well, Alma says she's so concerned for her daughter's violent behavior and was even punched in the head by Emmy. Now, Alma's sister Anna says Emmy's problems are all because of her mother. Now, somehow or another, we got the tail wagging the dog here.
Yeah.
You're a drunk, you're an alcoholic, and you cannot make clear decisions with a foggy head. So we're going to have to start hitting the reset button on things around here. Look at your arm. You're cutting yourself here. You're cutting yourself because of anxiety and pain and not knowing what to do with frustration. And that's not okay with me. You deserve better than that. The first thing you need to do is get yourself clean and sober.
Okay.
We're joined here by Deanna Jordan, the clinical director of New Method Wellness, as well as Brooke McKenzie, and Nick is here also, from New Method's Clinical Outreach Department. And let me tell you, New Method Wellness is a substance abuse treatment center. They're located in an oceanfront San Juan Capistrano community that is just absolutely stunning. And these guys provide an array of treatment programs, and they cater to each client's needs. This isn't a one-size-fits-all. It's a dual diagnosis program because they understand that if you just treat the addiction or the alcoholism and you don't treat the comorbid psychological disorders of depression and things that go along with it, then that's just going to re-trigger the alcoholism when you get back out, that you have to treat the entire individual at the time. And that's what needs to happen here. So, Deanna, this to me looks like a perfect fit for you guys. Do you agree?
I totally agree. You know, you don't have to live like this anymore. We could teach you a way to change your whole life and be a more higher functioning, better mother. I mean, you deserve to be a sober mom, and she deserves to have a sober mom.
Okay. We're going to bring back your self-esteem. It's going to be a lot of work. It's a big commitment, but I know you can do it, and I certainly know you deserve it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you what I think Emmy deserves while you're doing that. There's a place that I have a lot of confidence in called Wingate Wilderness Therapy, and it is one of the best wilderness programs in the entire country, and it is for struggling teens and young adults. And Shane Gallagher is here, and Shane is the executive director of Wingate Wilderness. And Shane, thank you for being here, by the way. I think this is a really good kid. I really do. But I think she has never had the kind of structure, the kind of focus, the kind of guidance and leadership that she needs. And you can help her, can you not?
Yes. Emmy, this is a very centering type program. It's a very healing type program. It's not a punishment at all. There's actually a group of girls out there your age right now, and they tend to be very anxious and happy for another member to be coming in and spending time with them out in the wilderness. It can be very fun. It can also be very challenging, and what I mean by that is there's a character and a foundation and things, stabilizing things for you to learn that could last the rest of your life. And this is the sort of program that will establish that for you.
Will you do that?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right. I want to thank this family for sharing their story. I'm going to let you guys head backstage now with your resource teams.
Thank you so
Coming up, what I think is some invaluable advice about the power of getting your message right on social media. Not wrong, but right. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back. I've got Areva Martin back with us. Welcome, Areva Martin. Areva is a civil rights attorney. She's a commentator. She is now author of a new book, and the new book is Make It Rain: How to Use the Media to Revolutionize Your Business and Brand. Now, she has great advice on how to make your online presence reflect your personal voice. And I'm going to talk to you in a second, but I'm going to do a shameless plug for Areva. She knows I love her, and I love her mentality and the way that she approaches things. This book has a great foreword. Oh, it's written by me. I did write the foreword for this book because I'm such a fan of Areva's, and she asked me to do it, and I said, of course I would. This is a must-read, and not just if you're in the business of media. If you touch your computer, if you are in social media, if you have a digital footprint, you need to read this book, and you need to read it right now. And I think this is a book that's written for everybody that has a digital footprint. And if you're somebody like yourself that really gets out there into the media, then it's an absolute manual for success. But if you're an individual that has a digital footprint, this is a must. And you're just really passionate about women finding their voice, and this is just another way to do it. Why did you write this now?
You know, I wrote it, Dr. Phil, because I get asked by so many people how they can influence their communities, whether it's the mom that's involved with her PTA or a small business owner or people who are really passionate about issues. You know, for me, when my son Marty was diagnosed with autism, I had to quickly throw myself into, what it meant to be a mom of a special needs kid. And I learned so much about the educational system, the medical system, and how to be an advocate. And I wanted to share that information, but I wasn't an autism advocate. I was a civil rights lawyer. I was in court trying cases, but I quickly learned that I had all this information that I could share with others, and I wanted to do that. And I became a voice. I became a national spokesperson. I started a nonprofit around autism, and I realized that there's so many people who are passionate about issues, whether it's domestic violence or foster care, or for, like me, special needs kids, and they have a lot to say. And they want to be involved in these conversations that are happening in their communities, but they don't know how to. They don't know how to raise their voices on issues, how to find that voice. So I wrote the book to help moms like me who may be sitting at home and they care about an issue and they want to be a part of a discussion that's happening around those issues. They want to influence their communities. They want to influence their families. And that's what the book is really about, identifying your voice, amplifying that voice, and changing your community.
Our kids are so much more literate and so much more agile on the World Wide Web than we are, because the generation has grown up with it now. And I've said, kids today, they have the knowledge to navigate the web, but not the wisdom.
Yes.
And as parents, I think if parents will read this book and understand how far-reaching you can be and how far-reaching sometimes these kids get with the post and the chat rooms they get in, and these children can learn the power of putting these messages out there and have an edge on the rest of the world. I'm telling you, you read this book, you're going to have an edge on the rest of the world in getting your point of view out there and getting your kids getting their point of view out there. Now, why Reva says her book came from college experiences. We're going to find out what happened to her that makes her say that when we come back. Well, I'm back with Areva Martin. She is a graduate of Harvard Law School, and she has written a new book called Make It Rain. And it is how to use the media to revolutionize your business and brand. And, you said that a lot of this was born from some experiences in college. Talk about that.
I grew up in a housing project in St. Louis, and I went to the University of Chicago, very prestigious university, but I wasn't ready. And my freshman year of college, this really sophisticated upperclassman, she shamed me. Today we talk about slut shaming and body shaming. I'll call it talk shamed. She ridiculed the way that I talked. She says, I can't understand what you're saying. And it was so embarrassing, so humiliating that I actually stopped talking for an entire semester. I had to go and remake the way that I talked. I had to learn what, this upperclassman said was proper English. And I think that experience taught me a lot. And I use that example to tell other people it's not where you start, it's where you finish. I just hope this book encourages someone that's sitting at home that thinks that they're not enough, that they'll learn from my personal experience that no matter what may be perceived as a deficit, you can make that into a positive. You can turn that around and you can make it work for you. As you said, I went on to graduate with honors from the University of Chicago. I went to Harvard Law School. I started my own law firm. I worked on Wall Street. I worked with Dr. Phil. You gave me my first shot on television. So I've gone on to work on projects on the #1 talk show in the country. You wrote my foreword, so I am a testament, I'm a witness, I'm a living example that no matter what it is you're hoping for, dreaming for, dreams do come true. When you work hard, have a lot of faith and belief.
I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to you, Areva Martin, author of Make It Rain, How to Use the Media to Revolutionize Your Business and Brand. And by the way, everybody in the audience will be receiving a copy of her new book. Also, a very special thanks to Deanna Jordan, Brooke McKenzie, and Nex Gracious from New Method Wellness, and to Shane Gallagher from Wingate Wilderness Therapy. Thank you guys so much. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. Tell us what you think on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. We have spent a lot of years here at Dr. Phil, and we always have a great time doing it. You guys in the audience have a lot of fun, right? In fact, there are some days that we actually have perks for the audience, like today. Robin has not one, not two, but 3 gifts for the audience.
That's right. Can you believe I've been sitting in this very chair for 16 years? And one of my favorite things has become giving the audience special gifts like my daytime complexion revitalizing regimen. First, my gentle cleanser, Foaming Joy. It removes all traces of dirt and makeup. I love it. Next, my Face It, You Look Amazing Revitalizing Serum. It is packed with peptides and improves the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. And finally, hydrated skin equals youth. Moisturizer that instantly hydrates tired, dull skin.
Trust me, she uses all of this stuff on me.
Oh, yes.
bald head is the test lab for all of this stuff, so it works.
Perfect.
So audience has that for a perk. You're all going home with all of that. And you at home can get the daytime complexion revitalizing regimen at RobinMcGrawRevelation.com. Now, if you're in the Los Angeles area, come join us here in the audience. For free tickets, go to drphil.com. We'll see you next time.
Bounce, bounce, all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out. Bounce, 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 all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out.
You warned me 1,000 times, memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was still a storm. I've always been naive, call it